Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my Let's Play of the Elder Scrolls Online. In our last episode, or last few episodes actually, we finally finished the Stonefall story quest. Turns out we defeated the Sadal, got him bound back to the Tormented Spire. Tamriel gave up his life to make that happen, and restored honor to his house in the process. And then we also did the Undaunted quest, did Fungral Grotto 1 and 2. Which 2 was just a fucking nightmare. If you guys watched that video, that was that's why I don't like doing it with groups for these things. I could have gotten more out of it, could have done it myself, would have been faster, most definitely. But we'll move on from there, and today we are going to head over towards Deshaan, actually, which is right along this southern road here. So let's see. I think honestly that we have, yeah, this guy should be giving our quest for Deshaan to head that way anyways.
I can't believe this. Injured on my first real mission. I just arrived from Deshaan. Deshaan sent me. Perhaps you've heard of him? He's the consul for the town of Circamora, the Cirque. I'm here to spread the word and warn people about the Lotus Plague.
What's the Lotus Plague?
It is a terrible sickness that is ravaging the Deshaan countryside. Look, I need to send word to my cousin Dandri. You can find her at the Cirque. Can you take this letter to my cousin? I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll deliver the letter for you.
Thanks for your help. Make sure you tell my cousin that I'm all right. If you head south, you won't be able to miss the Cirque. Tell her I'll return home as soon as I'm able.
Can you tell me anything else about this plague?
It's pretty bad. People all over the region are getting sick, and they say that the plague turns the afflicted into monsters. The town consul, Deshaan, sent me to get help and warn other settlements about the plague.
Have you found anyone to help yet?
Well, truth be told, you're the first person, other than the bandits I've run into, and the afflicted heading for the Cirque. There's a lot of them. Word of the curative has spread faster than the plague itself, as far as I can tell.
There's a cure?
That's what the Malborn claim. They showed up at the Cirque and set up a quarantine. They're offering their curative to anyone who wants it. But Deshaan isn't convinced they're telling us the whole truth.
So, how did you get injured?
Bandits. They robbed me, roughed me up. But I'll live. And a few bruises won't stop me. I have a plague to warn people about. I wonder, though. One of the bandits had a Malborn recruiting letter. I saw it sticking out of his pack as he beat me.
That's kind of suspicious, I'd say, for sure. Tell me more about the Malborn if you can.
Deshaan doesn't trust them. Neither does his sister, Arona, as far as I can tell. They do appear to be too good to be true. But they claim to be able to cure anyone afflicted with the plague. That's why they set up the quarantine at the Cirque.
Yeah, that's pretty coincidental, I'd say. I've never actually heard of the Malborn.
Neither had I. Not until they showed up on our doorstep. They seem to be some kind of altruistic society dedicated to helping the afflicted of Morrowind. Now that I think about it, they did have an awful lot of weapons for a group of healers.
Ah, the plot thickens, I see. Okay. So we will head along this south road here, head into Deshaan, get the letter to his cousin, and hopefully they'll be able to tell us more about this plague going on. That is the wrong button, and apparently that guy's invincible. Let me turn chat off. There we go. So here we are in Deshaan. It is... Honestly, it's not the most vibrant place, but it's definitely more vibrant than Stonefall so far. I guess this makes sense, though. You're getting further away from the volcanoes. The more greenery that's allowed to, like, flourish. Looks pretty nice. You know, now that I think about it, the one of the letters that we read during our last episode before we went into the Tormented Spire, I believe that may have been the Malborn recruiting letter that he was talking about.
Who knew that so many afflicted would flock to the Cirque? All these people, they're so sick.
Your cousin asked me to give you this letter.
A letter from my cousin? That's wonderful news. I'm glad to hear he made it to Stonefalls safely. Thanks for bringing this to me, friend.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. And this is Come for the Cure. Come one, come all, come to the quarantine in the town of Sycamora, the Cirque, and receive a curative that will protect you from the Lotus Plague. This is the same letter we read about earlier. So yeah, this was kind of the letter I was just talking about. And then
there
here's
you
somebody.
are. It's about time you got here.
You're expecting me?
Where have you been? I've been waiting for you to arrive for days now. Hold on. Are you all they sent?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Maybe you should start at the beginning?
Didn't the tribunal send you? Well, no matter. I'm just glad you're here. This is Sycamora, the Cirque. The Lotus Plague reached us right before the Malborn arrived. They claim they're here to help, but I don't trust them.
What can I do to help?
In all the confusion, I'm embarrassed to admit that I lost track of my brother, Deshaan. He's the town consul. Yesterday he went to check on the townsfolk afflicted by the plague, but he's disappeared. Can you help me find my brother?
Yeah, sure. I'll help you find your brother.
Someone in town must know what happened to Deshaan. He loves to visit and chat with all of our neighbors. Come on. The sooner we find my brother, the sooner I can start thinking about dealing with the plague.
Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions?
Oh, by Bavek. Where are my manners, of course. That's the least I can do since you agreed to help me find my brother. What would you like to know?
You called your brother the town consul. What does that mean exactly?
As the ranking member of House Redoran in this town, he's more or less the one in charge. He's good at it too. The townsfolk look to him for leadership and advice. And truth be told, so do I.
And who are the Malborn?
The Malborn. They're a fairly new sect, as far as I can tell. Part mercenary group, part compassionate charity. They've been helping those afflicted by the plague. They showed up here and set up a quarantine, and now they claim they have a cure.
And where did they come from?
They have members from across Morrowind, and they're always looking for new recruits. I heard one of them speak in Kraganmore. Lot of nonsense, if you ask me. Nostrum is in charge of the quarantine, and she's the one handing out the curative.
Can you tell me a little bit about the plague itself?
You haven't heard about the Lotus Plague? People get sick, turn violent. Some claim they become monsters, but I haven't seen it. At least not yet. The Malborn have a cure. They promised to fix this. That's why we let them set up their quarantine.
I see. Okay. Lead the way, or are you gonna follow me? Like you're gonna follow me, that's fine. Okay. Actually, looking at the map here, there's a lore book. Don't want to miss out on that, so let me go up here, see if I can get a little peek-see at what it is.
Hey, you're going the wrong way!
Yeah, I know. Calm down. By the way, never say that to a woman.
Go ahead and leave. I'll do this myself.
I just want to read a book, Lady God. The Judgment of Saint Veloth. By Magistrix Vox. A number of powerful healing relics are associated with Saint Veloth the Pilgrim. Of these, perhaps the most famous and well-remembered artifact remains the Judgment of Saint Veloth. This mighty Daedric warhammer stands as a shining symbol of everything Veloth embodies as a patron saint of outcast and seeker of spiritual knowledge. Stored with other holy artifacts in the protected vaults of the Tribunal Temple, the Judgment of Saint Veloth served the prophet and mystic well in life, but has gained legendary powers since his ascension to sainthood. The God Kings of Morrowind watch over the relics, keeping them ready for the day when their powers would be needed in defense of the realm. Saint Veloth personifies daring, and those who follow the lessons of his life and teachings learn boldness and cultivate an adventurous outlook. He defined the difference between good and evil Daedra, and even negotiated the original arrangements with the good Daedric princes. This ability to distinguish the good from bad was a hallmark of the living saint, as was his penchant for healing and healing items. Both of these aspects combined into his personal symbol of power, the warhammer known as Judgment. Velof's judgment rang with authority throughout the land, using its enchantments to cleanse corruption from the souls of those it struck down. It was a weapon, of that there can be no doubt. But Velof was able to wield it with the same precision that a surgeon uses to wield a scalpel, removing the corruption from his soul and leaving the remainder alive and healthy. The warhammer stored the corruption for a time, turning it into energy that could be used by the wielder to enhance the power of the weapon. Of course, in the wrong hands, such a powerful artifact could accomplish more harm than good. For this reason, among many others, the tribunal keeps the judgment and other artifacts locked away. It has been suggested that instead of being used as an instrument of healing, the judgment could be used to siphon a living creature's entire soul, thus making the wielder infinitely more powerful. This conjecture has never been put into practice, and if the tribunal has its way, it never will. And that's a good call if you ask me. Never let that shit happen. That sounds like a nightmare waiting to happen. Oh, what in the fuck? You want my help now, huh? Let's see how it is. Okay, so let's go and... That's stealing, unfortunately. I wish I could. Let's check this first house here.
By the three, this place smells terrible.
She's right here. Oh, she's throwing up. That's disgusting. I'm gonna step over here if you don't mind.
Oh, look at me. I'm a terrible mess. You really must excuse my dreadful appearance. I haven't been feeling very well lately. By the way, you haven't seen Nostrum Breva, have you? She promised to bring me more of the Malborn Curative.
I'm afraid not. We're looking for Deshaan. Have you seen him? Deshaan,
The
sorry.
town consul? Such a nice young man. Why, I do recall that he came to see me yesterday. He said he had other townsfolk to check on, but that he would bring me a curative as soon as he could.
And do you know anything about this Malborn Curative?
The curative? Remarkable stuff. Tastes awful, but wipes the plague right out of your system. One of those delightful Malborn gave me one a few days ago. Nostrum Breva, she called herself. But I think I need another dosage.
It doesn't really sound like a cure if you need more, you know. Can I ask you something else?
I may be ill and bedraggled, but I still have my manners. What would you like to know?
When did the plague first appear in the Cirque?
Oh, I couldn't say for sure. Perhaps the alchemist Nalene would know. I can tell you that I started feeling ill a few days ago after I drank the Malborn Curative. She said that would happen. You have to get ill to get better, the Malborn said.
That sounds really counterintuitive and wrong. Tell me more about the Malborn if you could.
Such a polite young woman, that Nostrum Breva. Claimed they were here to provide the help the tribunal refused to give. They have a curative for the plague, you know. Vile stuff. But the best medicine always tastes terrible, my mother always said.
I mean, that's kind of true. You know, if it tastes good, it's not good for you, that kind of thing. But, yeah, you definitely shouldn't be getting worse before getting better. That sounds completely wrong. One house down. Let's see if we can go up to this next one here.
Uncle, are you all right? You look so pale. No wonder my brother wouldn't let me come by to visit.
Don't worry about me. I'll be back on my feet in no time. But what about you? Your brother said that neither of you had taken the curative yet.
Uncle, I'm not sure about these Malborn, and their curative sounds too good to be true, but don't worry about me. Just take care of yourself.
I see Arona has conscripted a new soldier into her private army.
I'm trying to help find her brother, Deshaan.
Is Deshaan missing? He was by yesterday for a visit. I know he had other stops to make. He did seem concerned about the Malborn, though. Sealing themselves in their quarantine, no longer providing the curative. It made him furious.
Is there anything that we can do for you?
My niece's visit was more than enough. I feel better already. Besides, I've overcome worse ailments than a queasy stomach and a bad cough. I'll be fine.
Do you mind if I ask a few more questions?
Well, a good conversation is like a hot bowl of guar liver soup. It soothes the aches that ail you. What did you want to ask?
When did the Malborn arrive in town?
Well, I think it was 12 mornings ago. The day the wild Nyx got into the brooding elf's trash receptacles. Nostrum Breva had the quarantine up in a matter of days. Then she started distributing the curative.
And what can you tell me about the plague?
They call it the Lotus Plague. Maybe Vivek knows where it came from, but I certainly don't. I can tell you that it's going to have to try harder if it really wants to kill me. Or turn me into some kind of monster, if you can believe the stories.
Which I really don't. But are you really Arona's uncle?
I am a blood kin of House Redorum, if that's what you're asking. More a third cousin twice removed, if you want to be specific. But I've been close to Erona and her family since she and Deshaan were children.
That's cool. Okay, well hopefully he gets better. Don't want our uncle dying off. Then we just have one more to head to. Right up here.
Grell, are you in here?
I feel terrible.
What's wrong with you?
There are torch bugs in my eyes.
Ew. The fuck? I'm here to help.
The Malborn smell like Daedra.
Yeah, I can believe that. This is just a bunch of people just really sick, hanging out all together, continuing to spread the sickness. Is this person sleeping? Okay. I'm gonna go with sleeping.
By
Anybody in
the
here?
tribunal. Grell!
Ooh. That's not good.
Poor Grell. What in Oblivion's name happened to him? Let's get out of here. The sicker people get, the more incoherent they become, and now it looks like the rumors are true. The Lotus Plague does turn people into monsters. I don't think we're ever gonna find my brother.
Maybe we should pay a visit to the Malborn quarantine?
The quarantine? I guess it makes sense that Deshaan would want to go see what the Malborn are doing in there. And I've yet to see any evidence that the curative works. Alright, if you want to go to the quarantine, I'll go with you.
Tell me what you know about it first.
The Malborn set up the quarantine around the old graveyard. In the beginning, they were letting people inside and freely distributing the curative. But they closed the front gate a few days ago and haven't responded to any of our requests.
Any idea on how we can get in there?
Deshaan provided them with the old graveyard key when they first arrived, and I've seen Malborn coming and going through the back gate. If we go to the back gate, I'm sure we can get one of the Malborn to let us inside.
And if we can't, then we'll just take their key.
Yay!
Yeah, yay. All these people. It's really curious though that everybody that's sick took the curative, but Erona and Deshaan did not. And they're just fine, you know? Really speaks volumes, I'd say. But it looks like
hey, you're
we gotta...
going the wrong way!
I'm not. Wrong way is over here. Right. Then we gotta go around this way. Maybe she's just mad that I'm cutting corners here. But we are gonna go ahead and...
Fine. Go ahead and
Yeah,
leave.
whatever.
I'll do this myself.
Said that last time. Let's go ahead and kill this this little boss here, you know? Oh no. Oh, they got this. They got the rest of it. Honestly, I think that happened because I didn't have my food on. Yeah, they got this guy. There we go. There we go. Food on. Health up. Looking good. I didn't realize that it was, it ran out by the time I started that, unfortunately. And we also have another thing right here. Take care of this guy real quick. What is this? Noxophilic sanguinary. Yeah, big words, big words. An introduction by Cinna Scholasticus. The disease vampirism is not one disease, but many. Throughout the centuries, and for unknown reasons, the afflictions collectively known as vampirism have been transmuted in different ways and taken on different qualities. Herein, I shall try to delineate to the best of my ability the qualities of the form of vampirism common to our era, known as Noxophilic sanguinary. That one. So as to better equip the reader to identify this type of vampire. First, however, I believe a word of warning is in order. This work is in no way intended as a guide to hunting or otherwise confronting a vampire. In all cases, it is advised that you avoid anyone you suspect of vampirism, and certainly that you do not try to fight them. Vampires of all varieties possess supernatural strength and will quickly outpower or overpower all but the most experienced hunter. The most important thing to remember about sufferers of Noxophilic sanguinary is that, as the name implies, they are not weakened by daylight, as in other strains of vampirism, but are instead strengthened during the nighttime hours. Why this is the case is poorly understood. One of the more wild theories is that it is the result of some sort of Daedric backroom deal between Hirsine and Molag Bal that has given sufferers of Noxophilic sanguinary a werewolf-like love of moonlight. By night, these hunters are possessed of extreme fortitude and a powerful ability to recover from their wounds. Sufferers of Noxophilic sanguinary, interviewed under heavy sedation, of course, have described a dreamlike passage from when they were first bitten and afflicted with the disease. Some of them have described entering a ritual chamber where they were bathed in a pool of black blood. Whether the transformation actually involves such a terrifying ritual or whether it was merely a hallucination is impossible to discern without first-hand experience. If you are bitten or believed to have been bitten by a carrier of Noxophilic sanguinary, do not panic. If you are able to get away from your attacker, see a priest of Arche immediately. You will not contract full Noxophilic sanguinary without first being exsanguinated by a vampire and then receiving the gift of his or her blood in return. That is interesting. Hopefully, at some point or another, we can actually do the vampire quest and see if that holds up. Be nice to check out and see.
Look, it's just like I told you. The Malborn are using the back gate. Let's see if one of them has the key.
Well, they're not going to talk to us, so, you know, it's going to have to do this.
Hey! What are you idiots doing? Do we look like plague husks? Did you see that? They attacked us. And for no good reason. Let's find the key and see what the Malborn are hiding in there.
Yeah, they definitely attacked us first. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's just a yard full of zombies. What the fuck?
Over there. That's one of the Malborn. One of the husks must have gotten him.
I mean, this one right here?
What are they up to in there? And why won't they let me get a look at their curative? Oh, sorry. I didn't see you standing there through the haze of my indignation. Can I help you? No, wait. You can help me.
How can I help you?
I'm the town alchemist, and I want to get a sample of the Malborn curative. They refused to give me any. Proprietary formula, they said. Well, I want to figure out what's in this miracle elixir. I don't trust anything labeled proprietary.
You want me to get you the curative?
Do you always skip ahead in the story?
Yeah.
No one has an iota of patience anymore. But yes, I need a few bottles of the curative. I'm sure you'll be able to find some inside the quarantine. Then we'll see what's in this proprietary formula.
Okay. I'll try and get a few bottles of the curative if I can.
Just watch your step in there. I don't trust these Malborn or their good intentions.
You mind if I ask a few questions?
As long as you promise to collect the curatives as soon as we're done, ask away.
What do you know about the Malborn?
Not much. They say they're here to help, but they certainly don't act like any charitable caregivers I ever met. I don't trust them. Which is why I want to find out what's in the curative they're pushing on the populace.
And can you tell me about the Malborn curative?
There's not much to tell. They claim the elixir is a cure for the Lotus Plague, but I haven't seen anyone recover from the illness yet. But I could tell you more once you get me a few samples of the curative to examine.
And what do you do in town? You said alchemy, right?
I'm an alchemist. I took over for Arnis when he retired. I also have a bit of training as a healer. Before the Malborn arrived, I was the one the townsfolk came to see when they got sick.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I wonder if it's out of jealousy that she wants to get the cure. Test it out. Because if you're the one that people go to when they're sick, most of the time, right? And then somebody comes into town offering a cure, takes away your business, right? So maybe this is more out of jealousy from her than anything else. Or maybe she's just skeptical like everybody else.
This place chills me to the bones. Let's see if we can find my brother and then get out of here.
Okay, we can do that.
As soon as I get well, I'm going to join the Malborn. I want to help others, just as they helped me.
They don't look like they helped you at all, honestly. Let's go and get this curative. Go. All these people in here.
Don't touch anything, and try not to breathe too deeply. The affliction, it's everywhere. Everywhere!
The affliction?
The plague. It's in the air and the water. It's even on your skin. Crawling, burrowing, getting deep inside. Do you understand? It's not safe. And they're watching us. Always watching.
She is
All
really...
right then. Now I feel icky all over.
Yeah, she's really lost her fucking mind.
Don't come any closer. I don't want you to get the plague.
What are you doing in here?
I'm waiting for my next dosage of curative. 1 or 2 more doses, and I expect to be back on my feet in no time.
That's what you think. That's what you think.
I feel wrong. not just sick. Something's very wrong.
Yeah. No shit. We have Nostrum's notes. The first of the affected began arriving almost immediately after the quarantine was set up. I don't know how we spread the word so quickly, but people seem to be coming from all over the region for the promised cure. I now have the opportunity to observe the afflicted through all stages of the Lotus Plague. It begins with a mild fever and a random bodily aches and pain. Oddly, afflicted suffering this stage of the plague have a terrible hunger that cannot seem to be satisfied. This stage of the plague lasts anywhere from 3 to 7 days. The second stage of the plague is marked by a high fever, overall weakness, and the appearance of open sores upon the body. Pain grips the afflicted, making most normal activities impossible to perform. During this stage of the plague, the afflicted's appetite disappears, and it is a struggle to make them eat and drink sufficient amounts of food and water to maintain their body weight. This stage of the plague can range from 7 to 14 days. If the afflicted doesn't throw off the plague during this period, chances of survival drop to almost zero. The third stage of the plague marks the beginning of the end for the afflicted. The open sores now cover most of the afflicted's body, which burns with which heat that the afflicted becomes delirious and subjected to hallucinations. The afflicted refuses to eat or drink, and any kind of movement results in agony. This stage of the plague is relatively short, lasting from 1 day in extreme cases to as long as 5 days for those unfortunate enough to hang on. The last stage of the Lotus Plague is perhaps the most fascinating. Of course, many of the afflicted simply die when the plague has run its course, and the death is extremely painful and heartbreaking to watch. But an increasing number of afflicted don't find a natural end. These unfortunates transform into seemingly undead creatures that the common folk call plague husks. These creatures appear to be mindless engines of violence, intent on destroying all life they encounter. Can you imagine an army of such creatures? Priceless. The crates of accelerant have arrived. Now we can increase the rate of the affliction. Time to treat my patients. So, this note is just kind of hanging out here, and none of these people wanted to read that. Holy shit. They are really dumb, I think. I've just got a bunch of Malborn to deal with. Curative Batch 6. Useless. Absolutely useless. The curative isn't going to meet our mistress's demanding standards if it simply kills the target who ingests the person who ingests it. Sorry. If we were trying to create a new poison, then we'd be wildly successful, but that isn't the task at hand. Reduce the amount of dried corpse blood and try again. And watch the temperature in those cauldrons. One of them was dangerously close to boiling over, and I for one have no desire to be drenched in a spray of boiling curative. So it's not Nostrum Brava that's really the leader here. She's got somebody behind her that's instructing her to make all these tests. Curative Batch 15. This batch of the curative was so close to perfect. Unfortunately, Jesus. Let's try that again. This batch of the curative was so close to perfect. Unfortunately, it was a tad too effective. The afflicted turned into violent husks far more quickly than we had hoped for at this point in the process. Perhaps this particular mixture will be useful later when we need a quick influx of undead soldiers, but for now this batch won't suffice. An interesting side effect of this version of the curative concerns the level of aggressiveness demonstrated by the newly created husks. They turn immediately violent and consider everything that moves to be an enemy or food. These husks also demonstrate a total disregard for the husk scent we apply when working in close proximity to them. They attacked our workers as soon as they saw them, indicating that the scent no longer makes us or masks us from husks created with this version of the curative. Let's increase the cooking time by 1 hour and decrease the amount of wolf bile by 25%. Man, they're really trying to perfect this thing, aren't they? It's down here. Like a dead end, right? Yep, just a locked door. Okay. Let's head back around this way.
Deshaan, my brother, what happened to
Deshaan.
you? By the three, I fear the plague consumes you, brother.
Arona, what are you doing here? It's not safe.
The Malborn attacked us, and the afflicted are turning into plague husks. Oh, Deshaan, this is dreadful.
The Malborn is spreading the plague. For some reason, they want everyone to become afflicted. They're not healers. They're monsters.
Can I talk to you now? There we go.
The Lotus Plague. I have no idea why. But it's clear to me that the Malborn Curative is actually the source of the disease. Whatever they're planning, you have to stop them.
And you need a healer.
That's not important. Get my sister out of here and stop the Malborn. Destroy the so-called Curative and put an end to that mad woman, Nostrum.
I don't think Arona will leave your side, honestly.
Then convince her. I'm too far gone. I don't want to become one of those things and hurt my sister. Besides, she's a Redoran. She has a duty to the Cirque and its people.
Honestly, there might be time to help him. But I feel like, you know, patients really know themselves better than others do. So we'll take his word for it and we'll get her out of here.
I knew you'd understand. Convince her to leave without me. I don't want her to see what happens next. I acquired some of the Malborn poison. A death of my choosing is better than turning into a monster.
Is my brother ready? I need to get him out of here.
Your brother decided to stay here.
That's ridiculous. Why in the world would he want to stay in this dreadful place? I won't hear another word. He's coming with me and we're going to make him better. He's not gonna die. He's not.
He doesn't want you to take the chance of hurting... he doesn't want to take the chance of hurting anyone. You need to honor his wishes.
Stop making sense, damn you. And damn him. And damn the Malborn. All right. Just give me a moment to say goodbye. Don't do this, Deshaan. The Cirque needs you. I need you.
Oh, little sister. The Cirque will be fine. And so will you.
Damn you, brother. I'm going to miss you. But I'll do as you ask. And you, meet me outside after you've dealt with these Malborn bastards.
Hopefully he doesn't turn.
Thank you for letting me end this my way.
Oh.
Arona will be fine. Now, let me do this before I turn into a damn monster.
What's he gonna do? Oh, no. Well, better than turning into a monster, I guess. Then we have Curative Batch 19 here. Ah, finally. Perfection. The last batch of Curative starts the affliction, progresses the plague at a reasonable rate of speed, and then turns the afflicted into plague husks 70% of the time. Now we have a superior version of the plague and an effective way to dispense it. Of course, handing out curatives can be a slow process, especially in the larger towns and cities. Before we begin operations in Mournhold, we'll need a faster way to disperse the plague, but that's not my task at this moment. Besides, oh god, that scared the shit out of me. Besides, I'm sure that alchemist Merdendrill is tackling this problem even as I write these notes. I should also record that I perfected the husk scent. We can once again walk among the husks without fear of being attacked. I might even have an idea about a soap to remove the scent after we're finished. We'll begin making larger batches of the curative immediately. In no time at all, we should be able to give everyone in the circ. In no time at all, we should be able to give everyone at the circ and in the immediate vicinity a dosage of the curative. Don't worry, my mistress. Everything will happen just as you have foreseen. Damn, bro. So that means that everybody that's taking it is already just in the process of dying now. Or turning into a husk. That sucks.
All right, we're done here. Pack everything up. We need to regroup with the other Malborn cadres and deliver this plague to the rest of Deshaan.
Where's she saying that from? Oh, shit, I gotta go after it, don't I? The sense of the thing. You were lucky last time. How many times do I have to remind you? If you're going to work with the plague husks, you need to wear the husk scent. I know, it smells terrible, but that's the point. It makes you smell just like the plague husks. That's the only way to safely move among the vile creatures. Remember what happened to Kenny? I'm gonna say Kenny. She refused to apply the husk scent too. Complained that it got in her hair and wouldn't come out no matter how many times she washed it. And what did her vanity get her? A plague husk ate her face. Do you want that to happen to you? I certainly don't. Now get your chow together, or get your chow something together, and remember to apply the husk scent. I don't want to have to tell you again. Okay, so we'll get a little bit of the husk scent. Pour it on the ground, and now we are neutral. I think it only lasts a short amount of time though. Try and get through here as fast as we can. There we go.
The next one of you to drop a cask gets fed to the plague husks. Don't dally. We have a schedule to keep. You can't stop the Malborn. Healer!
There she is. Nostrum Bravo. Good fight. Great. Okay, so let's go and destroy some boxes, shall we? All the stockpile is going to burn to the ground. We got the Malborn Manifesto. Our land is troubled. Disease, invaders, and internal strife are only the most obvious problems facing our people. Each of these troubles strikes like a hammer blow, crushing us anew. But we have survived the hammer blows, and we have been reborn. We are the Malborn, and we have banded together with an altruistic spirit and a vision for a better Morrowind to provide the aid and assistance that the Tribunal is either unable or unwilling to give at this time. With powerful benefactors from the most prominent Dunmer houses and the support of nobles and commoners alike, the Malborn strive to shelter the displaced, comfort the sick, care for the wounded, and feed the hungry. It is not only the popular thing to do, it is the right thing to do. To this end, the Malborn have embarked on a massive recruitment campaign to fill our ranks with the able bodies we need to perform our charitable and compassionate work. Our goal is to create an army, the likes of which Morrowind has never seen, an army of generosity to offset the hammer strikes that torment our land. To this end, we are proud to announce the opening of our first facility to aid the afflicted. The victims of the Lotus Plague need care and succor, whatever that is, and the Malborn shall provide it. Moreover, the afflicted need not only a treatment for the plague, they need a cure. And through the work of our alchemists and nostrums, the Malborn are prepared to provide a cure to all the inflicted who want it. Come to our facility at Quarantine Cirque, where you and your loved ones will find the care and the help you so desperately require. If fortune smiles upon you, you also receive a cure for the Lotus Plague. People of Morrowind, listen to the sound of a new kind of hammer. It strikes to create instead of destroy, to rise up instead of tear down, to help instead of hinder. This is the promise and the commitment of the Malborn. Join us, and you shall be fulfilled. Seek us out, and you shall find the help you need. On this, we have our word. Lies. Lies and slander. The Lotus Plague. Nostrum Breva. We continue to experiment with new strains of the plague, and your work at Circamore has proven invaluable. The Magistrix is quite pleased. The Cirque has been a good testing ground. Weak and sickly individuals who arrive, some already infected with previous strains, beg for a cure. We are more than delighted to welcome them in, giving them false promises of cleansing their illness. Even the houses of Redorin and Halalu are convinced we are here to help. They so want to believe. As for the plague itself, it has become quite potent. Unfortunately, survival rates remain shorter than we had hoped. If we want to cause a true outbreak, one that could level an entire city, we must continue to strengthen the magic and test it. The next step will be to raise the level of experimentation. Word has already come that one of our cadres may have developed the purest form of the sickness yet.
From the side!
Clear this real quick.
Move now! I'm hurt!
There we go. Let's try and read this again. Word has already come that one of our cadres may have developed the purest form of the sickness yet. I'm eager for the arrival of these shipments. A larger town will suffice for the next experiment. I recommend Narcissus. The Lalu fools will never suspect a thing. I need to get in touch with my contacts there to let them know to be ready. Okay. Get another curative here. And that should be the last one that we need for her. Burn down the stockpiles. Read another research note, or destroy it rather. Stockpile. I believe this is another note here. Let me just hide in case she respawns again. So we got against false gods. Fear not the false gods, for their very presence is a lie. Abducted power ripped from artifacts undeserving. Worship received from mindless cattle, doing what they're told. You bow to them not out of reverence, not out of respect, you bow to them out of fear, out of unknown truths left untold. But why? Because it is right? Because it is what is expected of you? The people of this land bathe in the filth of corruption and deceit, a filth of their own making. We will give them the cure, all the blind and tainted. We will show them that their gods are not as powerful as they believe. The Malborn rise to purify this land in the true image of the princes, to cleanse the soil of all falsehoods. May the three feel our wrath. May the three be cleansed of their lies. For the Malborn shall bring forth a reckoning. Jesus, man. Sneak her out on pass because I don't feel like fighting her again. And these people, these Malborn, they are really just a huge piece of work. Really great opening, honestly, to the story of this place. Showing just the true evil that they can have.
Were you able to acquire any samples of the Malborn Curative? I'm really curious to see what the elixir is made of.
Here you go, but I'm pretty sure this elixir won't cure anything.
I've been watching the townsfolk who received the curative and came to the same conclusion. But I'll be able to tell for sure after I analyze the elixir. Take this. It isn't much, but I'm sure you didn't have too much trouble in there.
It's pretty easy.
Thanks for your help.
Hey,
Now,
welcome.
if you'll excuse me, I have some alchemical wizardry to perform.
Yeah. I'm assuming she's back in her uncle's house. Looks to be, at least. Yep. How's he doing?
My brother is gone, and I fear that my uncle doesn't have much longer. This plague, it's taken so many good people.
Your brother made his own decision.
And it was a bad one. Just when we need guidance and leadership the most, he left Circamora without a consul.
No, he didn't. You were here.
Me? Yes, you're right. I have to be strong for the Cirque. Deshaan was still a swit, though.
I dealt with the Malborn production facilities, but I think their plans go way beyond the Cirque.
That's the same conclusion I reached. But at least the Cirque is safe, for now. Here, take this, for helping me find my brother and expose the true nature of the Malborn.
Thank you.
The Malborn have been dealt with, but I could use a little more of your help if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course, what do you need?
It's my uncle. He's still ill, and his condition has taken a turn for the worse. Nalene is working to develop some kind of treatment, but she could use your assistance. She can't work at her alchemy table and also gather the components she needs.
What should I do?
Talk to Nalene. Let her know I ask you to assist her. She can be a little aloof, but she'll tell you what she needs you to do.
Okay, I'll go talk to Nalene. Oh, there she is.
Yes? It's nice to see you again, of course, but I am kind of in the middle of something here.
Is there always, or is this always where you do your work?
You certainly are an inquisitive one, aren't you? If you must know, Arnis lets me use his equipment until I can set up a shop of my own.
You don't have your own shop?
Not that I really want to tell you my life story, but I was apprenticed to Arnis. Then the plague struck the Cirque and other priorities took precedence. I'll be on my own soon enough, provided the town survives this crisis.
That's fair enough. So Arona said you needed some help.
Did she? Well, I suppose I do. There are a few additives I require, but I can't very well walk away from my table while Ornis and the rest of the townsfolk need my skills. Even this interruption can prove disastrous where alchemy is concerned.
What additives do you need me to acquire?
I need Kind's Heart healing herbs, sour milk tea, and dragon scale mushrooms. The innkeeper usually has healing herbs. Grel Flan loved sour milk tea, and Sorel Tatus had a taste for exotic mushrooms. You should find what I need in those locations.
Okay. What do your notes here say? Lotus Plague is a damn complex concoction. I'm not sure I have this.
You have to help him. Is he going to be all right?
Quiet, please. I need to concentrate.
Damn you, woman. Let's try that again. I'm not sure I have the skill and experience to totally counteract its properties, but I have an idea for how to suppress and slow the pace of the disease. It will require a number of rare and exotic ingredients to pull this off, though. An alchemical concoction such as I'm imagining doesn't like to be subjected to high heat. It's too volatile. It seems to be allowed to steep and brew. Therefore, an adjustment of 1/4 flame should suffice to get the alembic to the proper temperature. First, I'll need a good amount of Kind's Heart. These healing herbs are prized for their powerful medicinal properties, which makes them hard to come by and extremely expensive. I'm certain the innkeeper at the Brooding Elf keeps an emergency supply to sell for profit when business gets slow. Then, I need something to bind it all together and hide the foul taste of the bitter herbs, something like sour milk tea. Grel Flan was known to imbibe the stuff from time to time. I must admit that I have a fondness for this beverage myself, unusual with usually with a splash of grief to give it a bit of kick, if you must know. Finally, I need something that adds a touch of magic. Dragon scale mushrooms would fit the bill nicely. If I recall correctly, old Sorel Tatus had a taste for exotic mushrooms. There might still be some hidden in his house, unless those Argonian ruffians ransacked his place after he entered the quarantine. Okay, let's go check that out. Conveniently right across the street. I like it.
It's times like these when I wish I had more help around here. Is there something I can get you?
Is there any chance you have any Kind's Heart healing herbs?
Well, I might have some around here someplace, but Kyne's heart is very rare and valuable. I can make a fair bit of gold if I hold out for the right price.
You could, or you could just give it over because Nylene needs it to help Ornis.
What? Why didn't you say so? Ornis has always been fair and pleasant to me, and he's a good customer. Please, take this. It's all I have left.
Thank you. All right. So that is one down. Is there a... There's a lore book in here. Jeez. All the reading today. The Living Gods. No other religion in all of Nirn can claim what the Dark Elves know as absolute truth. Their gods rule over them and walk among them, as real and as present as any resident in Morrowind. From their seat of power in Mournhold's Tribunal Temple, the living gods of the Tribunal guard and counsel their people. When necessary, they punish sin and error, but they also share their bounty with the greatest and least among us, each according to their needs. But who are the living gods? They are powerful dark elves who achieve divine status through superhuman discipline and virtue, and supernatural wisdom and insight. As the three god kings of Morrowind, they formed the divine leadership of the Dunmer nation, the three, Lord, Mother, and Wizard, as described below. Vivek, the warrior poet and god and master of Morrowind, is perhaps the most popular of the three. He also tends to be the most public, and the people love him. His visage appears both beautiful and bloody at the same time, and he has made violence into an art form. Vivek, the warrior poet, has darker aspects associated with primitive, ruthless impulses such as lust and murder. Almalexia, also known as Mother Morrowind, is the patron of healers and teachers. She is the healing mother, the source of compassion and sympathy, the protector of the poor and the weak. Almalexia embodies the best of Dunmeri culture and purpose. She exemplifies mercy, and her wisdom guides the Dark Elves in all their daily affairs. Sothasil, god of the world mechanism, is the least known and the most hidden of the tribunal gods. Sometimes referred to as the mystery of Morrowind, he is a magus and the patron of artificers and wizards. Perhaps the mightiest wizard in the land, and certainly the wisest, he is considered to be the light of knowledge and the inspiration behind craft and sorcery. Together, the living gods are the pillars of the Tribunal Temple. They represent the power and discipline of the Dunmeri people and rule with a combination of compassion and strict adherence to law and protocol. Alright, very nice.
The situation is the same as it was the last time you inquired. You're welcome to remain here, or feel free to move into the next hall for a hot meal and a cool drink.
She being racist to that Argonian? That's not nice. And Grell, which is in here, we actually killed him. Or her. I don't remember. Should be able to get their sour milk tea. There we go. Another one. There we go. I guess we just check around the house here. Got it on the first try. Let's go. Going for the cure. We've already read that. Okay. So let's go head back to the alchemist.
Where did you go to get those ingredients? Windhelm? No matter. You're here now. Were you able to acquire everything on my list?
I think so. Here's what you asked for.
Healing herbs, dragon scale mushrooms, sour milk tea. Yes, it's all here. I need to stay here and monitor my patient's condition. Go over to the alchemy table and mix those ingredients together, please.
You sure? Alchemy notes, we've already read that. Alchemy table. I'm assuming this tells us the order of it. So we need Kind's Heart, sour milk tea, dragon scale mushroom. This alchemy table is remarkably clean and well kept. Adjust the flame to 1/4 height. Alchemy device releases a short hiss of steam as the flame bursts to life. So we want to do the Kind's Heart healing herb, sour milk tea, dragon scale mushroom. Mushroom dissolves into the thick liquid, releasing a glowing rainbow of color into the concoction. I should take the completed potion and bring it to Nylene. There we go.
You did it? Well done. I never doubted you for an instant. Now, let me have the mixture, if you please.
Here's the potion you asked me to make.
This appears to be perfect. I truly am impressed. Now we'll see what happens and leave the rest in the tribunal's hands.
Okay. See how fast it
Our friend
works.
has done well. I'm not sure this will cure the plague, but it should at least slow down its progress. All right, that's it. Visiting time is over. Everyone out and let my patient rest.
Please, Mother Morrowind. Please help Uncle get well. I don't know how to thank you. Without your help, the Malborn would have destroyed the Cirque.
We did everything we could, and Nylene seems to know what she's doing.
I know. His fate is in the Three's hands now, but he certainly has a fighting chance thanks to you. Here, take this. There's no way I can truly repay you for what you've done for the Cirque, but it's a start.
I appreciate it.
I'm
Alrighty.
happy to say that the suppressant works. It's not a cure, but it should buy me the time I need to find a way to beat the plague.
Nice.
That's wonderful news. If I wasn't worried about spreading the plague, I'd kiss you right on the lips.
I think she wants to do that anyways. We got a friend coming up to talk to us, it appears, but we're actually going to go in the episode there. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.